All right, let's continue this session. What I'm going to do now, uh, this is our uh, the course content related stuff. Okay, so which we can able to say this, data migration and the modernization plans over here. So understanding of the data platforms, the modernizations, exploring of the benefit of Azure data migration modernization. Okay, so this is a module one, and the other one is choosing of a right tool to migration, and the next one is migrate SQL Server workloads into the virtual machine and Azure SQL and Azure SQL managed instance. All right. So let's jump into this demo, and where you can able to see our Azure SQL, how it is going to fit to migrate. All right. So here is my uh, Azure portal over here. If you can see this, your account setting left, right side top corner, we can see your, complete information about your mm, contact information and billing and all. And towards go left, you have, some feedback, and you do have some support kind of thing. If you want to raise any support to the Microsoft, you can raise it over here. So any migration related or the support related kind stuff. And we do have some configuration or settings to our desktop kind of thing. You can able to customize over here. So appearance, how to view our workloads and languages and my information and sign up notification, everything you can able to make it over here. So if you go and make it as a dark, it is going to give the dark color settings over here. All right. So just it is, so just before we have in some sort of appearance setup, okay, if you want to leverage, can leverage that one, and blue light, whatever you want to do, your settings over, you can able to do it. Okay, so that it is going to give some customization of the desktop. Okay, so uh, apart from that, we do have other settings, notification, deployment notification. It will give some flexibility over here. And then there is cloud shell. Okay, so this is Azure cloud shell, whatever the GUI things we are going to do. Okay, so here it is going to deploy by using of the shell as well, so that it is going to give some compatible uh, in a GUI to command shell over here. Okay, so the other aspect, if you towards go for the left side panel, we have complete bloom of services information, create the resources. If you can click on home, there is some services it is going to display it over here. And if you recently connected or created, it is going to give here. Okay. So all the services Microsoft it is going to give, around 260 services over here. So we can able to see this, analytics, compute, containers, database, and DevOps related stuff too. Okay. So these all the services you can leverage from this, free trial subscription as well. Okay. So and Kickstarter and Kickstart Center. So you can able to learn here the uh, deployment of features and all, and app services, function app, database, and all here. Okay, so this we can able to do. And when you go for the database related stuff, basically what it is going to give us, okay, if I want to create the database, it will give this next blade over here. You can create this workload basically. So we have other approach to create over here, and I will go to this all services. We'll go for the database. Okay, so from here, whatever the service you want to create, you can able to create here. Virtual machines, managed instance database, SQL, Elastic Pool, Azure SQL over here. So let's say if I want to go and click on this Azure SQL, SQL uh, virtual machine, we can create uh, the SQL VM here. So with respect to SQL, there is a bunch of flavors which we discussed just before. Azure SQL and Azure SQL managed instance. And if you click in below, it will give the some glance of information, single database. Okay, so if you want to go for it, it will support 100 terabytes and serverless compute and easy to manage. And Elastic Pool, it's kind of pooled database related stuff which we can able to manage your workloads over here, and then to share the compute and storage resources. Okay, so it will going to reduce your cost comparing to dedicated one. And database server. So we have access management, backup management, business continuity related stuff. The database service are used to manage group of single database and elastic pool. So this is what it is going to give the flexible services. Let's go to this Azure SQL managed instance. Basically, we have native virtual network it is going to support, and fully managed services. And Azure acts is newly launched now enabled for your workloads to future compatible to run, deploy infrastructure review, and built-in management capabilities over here. So two for those we have. And the other one is new, the virtual one. You pretty much aware in on-premises workload how you're going to utilize the same sort of things we are going to use here. Uh, Okay, so if I want to deploy anyone, managed instance related stuff or Azure SQL, we have some steps to follow. Okay, so first of all, I'll go with SQL Visual Mission. Okay, so let me have which one we're gonna go and deploy it here. Okay, there is an inbuilt stack. It is a marketplace related software available, so where you can able to leverage that one. So 2017 SQL Server, which will support into the Linux platform as well. We can have that combination workloads also we have. Okay, so if I want to run my SQL Server 2022, we can leverage this free license of the developer edition, which is not going to cost so much, and you can utilize that. Okay, so 19 we have, and 16 we have, and 17 also. So I want to do some experiment here. So let's go for this 2016 one. So why? Because the higher one, which is not going to give any kind of restrictions, or it will be very smooth. So I just taking the this 2016. Maybe it will ask some sort of option settings when you're going to do migration. Okay, so this is the VM deployment. Okay, normally you can go into utilize. Here is our subscription and the resources. Subscription is the account, the tenant ID, where you can able to create your workloads under this subscription. And the resource group is a group of collection of resources. Okay, it is pool. Okay, so where you can able to put your all storage, networking, database, and apps you can able to segment. So it is going to give some segmentation of your workload, like test development, production environment. Also, you can able to segment it. It's a kind of environment flexibility of the cost flexibility. Cost also the resource group as you can able to utilize. Just I don't have any resource group at this moment. Okay, CP DevRG is there, but for the sake of interest, I'm right away going to create here. So this is my the resource group we can able to create. Okay, so name we can able to give for CP-RG. Okay, so this is my resource group, or you can able to give test, or so demo resource group. Okay, demo resource group it is. So, and we need to provide the virtual instance name, the name what you want to go. Basically it will follow for the standard for the location, environment, and application, and numerics that will follow. Okay, US uh, uh, UAT test. Okay. SQL VM 001. So you will use for your location, your environment, test our production under VM 001. Okay, so you can use this naming convention, but it is all depend upon your project requirement. So I'm just taking a mm, default over here. And if you can see, as I said just before, spot discount we can leverage that as well. And the Azure administrator, you have to provide the admin account details. So I'll provide SQL admin over here and a password. Okay. Here also we'll give the password information. All right. Uh, just go to the next disk. Okay, so we have an SSD disk and SSD disk basically. Okay, so for the demo, I'm just using for the SSD disk. Okay, so uh, and next I will go for the networking option. Okay, so if you have the networking, you can leverage or else you can straight away go and create the networking one. Okay, so I'll create test vnet. Okay, so or else you can use for the previous test vnet. Okay, so and numeric one, 001 or 01, whatever you want to go. So this is an address space. Okay, so you can utilize, you have in a default subnets too. Okay, if you want to utilize that one, or else if you don't want to utilize that is also good. And you can add the subnet latter part, or you can able to add here the new subnet as well. Okay, so you subnet name information over here after SQL icon subnet one, and provide your address space over here 10 dot 1 dot 0 dot 0 dot slash 24. If you want to more, you can utilize and app subnet. Okay, so one where you can able to leverage that 10 dot 2 dot. Okay, so 0 dot 0 dot slash 24. So likewise, you can able to can able to leverage the subnets and all, and press OK. It is going to create the subnets and all. Okay, so scroll down and the licensing part over here. The public, this is not supported login Azure AD. Okay, so let's see. That's fine. Okay, so next we'll go for the monitoring aspect, and then we'll go for the advanced. Okay, so I'm just taking the default one, and let's say the SQL related stuff. Okay, so which make authentication related stuff, whatever we have given that it is going to leverage over here, and just change it the VM instance, the data and all. Okay, so where you can able to give this 8 GB. Why? Because it is a testing one. I'm going to take it as a testing, and where you can able to make this log also as a 8 GB. And if you want to use the dedicated one, you can use the dedicated one separate drive to the 10 GB also, make it as an 8 GB as the minimum. So this is all about the disk and number of files of initial size you can able to customize over here 10 TB, and auto grow setting also you can able to do, later part also you can able to configure this one. All right. So next tags. So tags is basically it is in a label kind of thing. Let's say you are using test. Okay. So SQL iPhone test and it is 001, and which is app you are going to use. Okay, so test app, test. Okay, so that it is going to give the numeric one and view you and create it. So this is going to deploy your VM1. Okay, so it will take some time to deploy the virtual machine. Okay, so it is running the validation part, whatever the inputs we have provided, that is relevant or not, so that the validation is failed. So let's see this what exactly this is going to recommending over here. So not completed exactly exceeding the approval total uh, core quotas, additional details, Okay, so what it is recommending is basically I have SQL managed instances deployed over here. So the code of this limitation is exceeded the V code. That's what I cannot able to leverage it here, right? So what we can able to do, I have um uh okay, I have in my uh make it as a duplicate tab over here. What I can do, uh, I'll release some sort of SQL related stuff over here, and so that it is going to lose some. Okay, so your managed instance is ready to click to here. Okay, so all right. So what I'm saying basically this managed instance is running. So that's what I cannot able to deploy this VM currently since we are in a free trial subscription. Okay, so let's see this. We just need to require some approval here. Let me try to do make this one as a minimum course and general purpose. Okay, I cannot able to. Okay, so just let's wait. I just want to delete this one. Okay, so it will give us some resource release so that we'll get in some. Let's keep try reiterate this one so that it will give some. It will give the permission to create. Okay, so let's go to the previous and then click on preview. Okay, let's see. Okay, now it is the validation is in process. Okay, so still the validation details not reflecting over here the same error. So as long as that so the operation could not be completed, it means result that exceeding of your approved total or a reasonable core quota. Okay, so let's me change this one. Okay, so where we are UK region, it seems right. Okay, let me take it up US. Okay, and now click on this validation part. Something it has got changed as okay. Okay, 16 because is not and we'll go and take it the small size here. So I'll take it up this small size VM. Okay, and it is going to give more flexibility to create. All right, so let's see this validation now. Okay, so it is now the validation is passed. Now click on create. The VM is going to create you successfully to utilize infrastructure and service. All right. So by the time, let's go and create uh, mm, Azure SQL service. Okay. So if you can see, once the deployment is done, we can able to see this, resource group information. So just before we use the demo RG, since we don't have any resources at this moment, the notification bar is just going to show you the deployment is in progress. So after some time, it is going to give some uh, give the information of the service which you deployed is basically. Okay, so that is more into the SQL VM deployment. Okay, so we can parallelly to deploy this rest of the services. Okay, Azure SQL and Azure SQL managed instance as well. So let's to go and deploy the services. We go to the left side panel of Azure SQL and click on create it here. So also you have go to the all services and all services and go to this databases, and we do have the option to create here. Okay, or else you can click on virtual mission, and here also it is give the feasibilities of to creating of your workloads. So this is my single database, the best suit of the modern applications. Okay, so we can leverage this one over here. So it's a very simple and straightforward to create the database. Just click on the create the database. Post that. So as I said, the subscription is, it's a kind of account to, authorize to leverage your services on cloud landscape. Any one of, Google Cloud also we have, project, and here is a subscription and the resource group. There is some folders kind of thing, but in free trial we have one tenant ID. We have in our organization we have multiple tenants, multiple customers, cross vendors as well, so we need to work with them. And demo RGs, currently I have in present that I'm going to utilize. Okay, so now this database name, okay, so we can write demo, okay, demo db1, okay, whatever you want to use. And this is just creating of the database. So this database should have instance, right? All the databases, so its instance is tree, and database is in a branch. Okay, so if you can see this, server is not available, we need to create and for this specific database. What do you want to utilize? Demo, okay, SQL SRV 001. So this name is up to you guys. Whatever you want to utilize, you can utilize. Okay, so this is not going to have change. Okay, so here is my East US we have. Okay, US is I'm going to deploy, and the location and authentication method, three it is going to support. One is for Azure Active Directory authentication, and this is called a mixed mode, Azure AD, and that's only SQL authentication. We'll use for mixed method, mixed mode, like a SQL authentication and Windows authentication, like so same like here. Okay, Azure AD integration user can able to log in, and as a set Azure AD person as a admin. Okay, so this is like our Windows authentication user kind of thing. Goes job to those users, and avail of the user, click on this user. Okay, so select, and then here is SQL admin. I'm going to use for the SQL authentication user, and password. You have to provide password. All right, so yes. And now, if you can see this, there is a storage components over here that the compute in the storage. This is a very important to during the configuration. Okay, so as I said, we have multiple options like general purpose and business critical. Under the vCode model, we have general purpose and the hyperscale and the business critical. So general purpose is normal workloads, the application which is having IO and memory. So you can utilize here. Okay, it's the most budget friendly and surplus compute. And we do have in a business critical option. So low latency, high performance. You can use for the hyperscale is basically compute storage, highly required compute storage operations. You can leverage for here. And the TTU is basically it is in a blend of CPU and memory combinations. So we have a basic standard, the premium. Okay, basic is just minimal configuration, just going to give workload for any testing or the POC, and the standard it will give some budget friendly kind of services tier. It's a plans like you have a postcode and a prepaid kind of thing. That features. So what is the database transaction units? It's a blend of CPU and the memory. But the main disadvantage of this, TTO and all, you don't have, like um, uh, uh, hybrid benefit we will not get here. Okay, so that would only it is going to. But when you go for the vCore model, we can utilize for the existing software assurance here. Okay, so and the other option is, serverless computing here and auto pass is also available. So when you want to use pass leverage this service, okay, it is going to, ideally stop. It is not a stop state, is basically, it is, has, sleeping mode. Once in any active connection is going to pointing, it is, have some connectivity and give the some output information. Okay, so this also you can able to leverage it here. Okay, so the backup star redundancy, local redundant backup and the zone redundant and the geographical redundant storage. So it is a global within this zone and your local storage. Okay, so just let's avail of the network access. How we are going to leverage the public endpoint, the private endpoint, no access. Let for the part of this, demo, I'm just making the public endpoint. You can utilize the private endpoint too. Let me take the public endpoint. Just make this yes so that you can able to access your on premises. Go to security and nothing to do here. Additional, you have an existing backups. You can take it up the backups and restore, and no backups, empty database. You can use this one. Okay, so sample database, adventure work we have. You can utilize that one as just tags is the label which I said, which we discussed. Okay, so it will give the isolation of your environment and the application and client. Just click on create under review, so that it is going to create as validation part, and deployment is in progress. Validating, once the validation is passed, this is going to give some uh, deployment process. Yeah, let's say deploy. Meantime, if you go and see this virtual machine spine, so I could able to see my yeah, I could able to see my virtual missions were. I'm just pausing here. All right. So if you could see this, which we deployed SQL VM, let's try to connect from here. It is going to give this RDP console and download this RDP file, or else you can, take this IP and do the RDP. Okay. So just try to connect this VM from your, local system or the your laptop. Okay. So we just need to provide the user ID over here. Let's go to this other options. Okay, so SQL admin is the one we have provided, and provide your password here. Just press enter. We just connected my SQL via. Okay, so this is what we are gonna uh, connected at this moment of the SQL Server IaaS VM. As we discussed just before, we have more control on this infrastructure as service, but the uh, administration standpoint of you have more burden here. You need to configure the backups, monitoring, patching, high availability, and it is going to give you this only for the underlying hardware and the software component from the cloud vendor. Rest of the things you have to do your own, and make it the services available. Okay, so that's what the Microsoft is going to give 99.95 SLA over here. Okay. Oh, let me make it this server how it is going to work. Try to connect, go to this management studio. Here is my management studio tool. Along with this, you can able to see this, tuning advisor, management studio. I think it should be available data studio as well. Okay, by default, it is going to install, but our focus at this moment, SQL Server Management Studio. All right. Uh, let's see that progress of the Azure SQL, whether it is got mm, let's see this where we exactly the Azure SQL one is got deployed or not. Okay, so now it is available. It is successfully deployed Azure SQL one. So just take this the Azure SQL database and take this instance name and go to this SQL server which we deployed in infrastructure as service and try to connect. So both are same region and the same resource group. So by default within your VNet, any services which by default it is going to connect. Okay, so there is no special configuration is required to connect, but out of your VNet and all, which requires some network connectivity as a peering or VNet to VNet, or and the public endpoint, the private endpoint, we have to utilize based upon the requirement. Okay, so yeah, now I'm able to connect this SQL Server infrastructure as service via, and under this one, I don't have any uh, databases. So you can see this, as same as our on-premises one, but running into the cloud landscape infrastructure as service. All right. So this is system database, and if you want to create any database, like you can create in a GAR, or if you have the backup, you can restore it. That's okay. The user database is going to create here. So I just want to correct my past Azure SQL instance. Just do this workload over here. Uh, and just go to the SQL authentication, and SQL admin is my ID, and provide your password, whatever you have given during the deployment, that it is directly connecting. Why? Because I just allowed. So this is demo DB, and we just taking the sample database over here. We can see this, adventure web database related things. Okay, this is what we can able to deploy. So the other aspect is basically I want to show you of the managed instance deployment. Uh, let's go to this all services and database. You can see this managed instance, right? So it's something different. The creation, the prerequisite would be required, dedicated VNet and the subnet. Okay, so you can avail existing VNet and the subnet, so that it is going to take some uh, reduce of the time of deployment. It will come down. Actually it is going to take 4 to 6 hours, but when you are already existing when it is available, it will create within 30 to 60 minutes. Okay, so that it is going to new uh, offering Microsoft has providing. Earlier, it is taking 6 hours of time. Okay, so if you can see the same as is the free trial, and we will go for the demo DBRS and provide your managed instance name over here. Okay, agent SQL MI. Okay, so demo SQL MI. Okay, I-F-001, whatever you want to give, you can give it. Okay, so it's UK South, and I don't think so. The service is going to available here. Let's take the compute options, very minimal. Okay, so mm, go for 4 cores and make it as 32 GB. If you can see here, pay as you go hybrid benefit. If you have an existing licensing with you, you can avail of this one. Okay, so that is the one thing I want to tell. Uh, the other thing is hybrid failover rights. So this is a very important feature. So you can use this, secondaries are the secondary SQL instances without licensing cost. Okay, so this is basically the new feature is availing. So you can use for the DR purpose as a standby uh, the secondary replica without any licensing. Okay, so just refresh this one and make this one hybrid benefit, and just give this okay. Let's move this. As I said, the local redundant backups, zone redundant backup, geographical redundant backup, uh, okay, geo zone redundant backups. It means the your backup is going to store the local, and the zone is between the data centers. Uh, and here is a geographical location and a region it is going to give, and zone and the zone redundant option is available. So you have here is 3 copies, here is a 3 copies with sorry, here is 3 copies, here is a 6 copies, 3 copies local, rest of the 3 other data centers. Zone is also, it is going to segregate between the regions. The primary three backups would be your primary region, the rest of the three is it is going to share other zones, and zone and geo also the same kind of approach it will utilize, but we have more faster of comparing to this. Okay, so apply, go to the network settings. In the network settings, which I said, we can use this one, single subnet or the existing one. You do have already existing one, VNet one, you can avail that one. Okay, so or else if you want to create, you can create it here. So or else existing one we have Dev SQL. Am I? It will. give this option. Public endpoint, if you're going to enable, that will give this, public endpoint to connect. Then go to the security, additional settings, the collision settings and all, geo replication and all. If you want to do the geo replication, you can utilize. Next, and click review. So I don't think so it is going to, work basically. Why? Because we don't have that much of resource currently since it is in free trial. Okay, so here also we have, authentication method and the SQL authentication and the Windows authentication. So use that future and avail that one and provide your user ID password so that it is going to deploy. So I'll make it as an SQL admin. You can give your own ID and the password should be it is a 16 characters. All right, networking and security. Click on review. So the validation is required. Okay, deploying manages is in long process. It will take up to 6 hours to complete over. So if I want to deploy this one, I can deploy it. Let's create the option. Okay, so it is going to deploy. Pause that. Okay, so let's see how it's going to work. So it's just validating. Okay, so let's see. Submitting this deployment request is ensuring some additional details. Okay, it's still active. Okay, so let me take me to this, networking option. Basically, we just need to create the new network option here. And okay, so East US, just check it out. Okay, let me take this chain, this East US, and try to deploy this one and go to the networking option. Here is my mhm, okay. So it is going to take complete 6 hours of time. Okay, so the deployment is got initiated over here. And if you can go and leverage the existing SQL IMI one, uh, you can go and see that how it is going to show you basically. Okay, so at this moment, the deployment is in progress. I could see this SQL MI over here. Okay, if I have any SQL MI related stuff, we can utilize. So CPDR SQL MI, which we can have the free trial. I already deployed. It will show like this, the navigation part and all. Okay, so I just want to connect with this one by the public in by using of the public endpoint or within the same VNet. Okay, so that it is going to, you know, help to manage instances being deleting it is disabled. Okay, so as I said just before, when we are trying to create before the because of the resource utilization, I could not able to reply. That's what I tried to delay. Once after the deployment is completed, you can see this SQL managed instance related stuff over here. So this is what all about the SQL managed instance. Uh, Okay, let it be deploy and then see. Okay, so all right. So let's see this, the status of the deployments, which is completed or not. Okay, so I could say this, managed instances in progress to deploy over here. Okay, so it will take some time to completion of this one. But if you can see this, uh, mm, all the left side blade, which we can able to see this, overview options, settings, and data deployment. We will discuss it in details more further demos in the sessions. Okay, so I'm going to upload the same thing to the uh, YouTube, so you guys can able to access. Okay, so let me go to this resource group, basically where you can able to see the demo RG. Under demo RG, we have multiple services, SQLMI and Azure SQL and Azure SQL VM. All this got deployed over here, and you can do some sort of experiment here to migrate the things. Okay, so let's say if I want to migrate this one cloud to on-premises, just the new feature we can able to avail, or else you can do some backup restore, data tier application to migrate, import, export, and copy database, database, manage database encryption. Okay, DT kind of thing we can implement over here. And the new feature is, Azure SQL managed instance link and, test connection. We want to test something, do see here this is SQL agent is disabled and as in permission endpoint does not exist. So you need to fix and each and everything and do uh, some migration process. Okay, simple to avoid this one. Just need to start this SQL agent and then after that try to migration process to initiate over here. Okay, so Let me take it up the one more time validation part, so that whether it is eligible or not. So basically, it's required, latest 2016 with the SP3, and the validation link also is required. The prerequisite standpoint of, okay, so it will give, just we need to, some uh, okay, so under the databases, go to the user DB and use this, Azure replicate database, since you have, already cloud landscape. See, it is not enabled. So what we need to do, you just need to enable this feature into this one. Okay, so that it is going to start or eligible for the migration process, basically. Okay, so let's see this too. You can do the manually, or else you can go and create some um, scripts as well, so that it is going to enable for you this thing. So these are the steps which we need to follow. Okay, so HADR status got enabled or not. Let's me take it up this script and go and execute in this VM and try to revalidate to SQL migration. Okay, as you just execute this one, okay, which is not uh, enabled. Okay, so what we need to do basically, okay, so configuration manager, go to this SQL configuration manager here. Okay, so post that, go to the SQL services over here, and SQL Server Engine, and go to the high availability. This is got, so allow this, instance equals, or because availability group, it's required, grayed out. So what we need to do is part of this, SQL 16, which we need to install the always on always on basic primary requisite to have some failover cluster manager. So just a single node, but we can try to install that Windows failover cluster. Post that, you can able to um, enable that one, so that error it is going to, wipe out. Okay, and just go to the next option, and where we are actually Windows failover cluster manager. Go back, Hyper-V, failover cluster manager, not here. I don't know where can I find that Windows failover cluster manager solution. Mhm. The service should be available here, Windows failover cluster manager. Okay, so yeah, failover clustering. Okay, okay, and next install here. Okay, so this is going to take it not even 1 or 2 minutes. Once it is completed, we can just enable that feature, and that's it here. Okay, so let's cancel and refresh. Once the failover clusters got installed, Okay, so it will is going to give you this option to utilize. Okay, let's see this. Still not able to fetch. I think the still this installation done, and we just need to create that roles actually. Okay, so start peering this. You must restart the business or something. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now let's see this failure cluster. Where is that? Restarting pending. It is asking restart. Okay, so once the restart is done, it will be going to enable. Okay. Okay, select this virtual mission and try to restart this one. Okay, so we have an option to restart here. Go to the restart. Let's see this. Once the restart is done, you just enable that feature and try to use this prerequisites part. Basically, it's required to have some latest version. Let's just want to walk through that. If you guys, okay, so the main prerequisite would be to use it manage instance link. First and foremost thing, we just need to create the master key and the master database. The second thing is to create a master key password. Okay, so where you can able to leverage that one. Then after that, enable this HADR option to those specific SQL Server instance, and then use for this, SQL MI. And we just required some ports over here. That is T1800 and T minus 957. Okay, so this we are gonna add into the startup parameters in the restart the services, and then you can use this, just try to do this, SP31, and this is the KB, the latest KB which we required, and enabled trace flags is also enabled. And then we'll go for the network connectivity of this one. Okay, so we're just having on premises to use this for an external connection Azure, and over here the port is required, outbound port over here in the on-premises end, and NSG end. These are the ports which we require part of this connectivity and do this R&D. All right. So the VM got restarted. Okay. So try to connect the VM. Okay. Let me. We have already that VM in RDP. I'll take it up that downloads. Okay. Just connect this VM and provide your password. Oh. So normally this public IP is going to change. Okay. So, but if we are going to stop and start, it will change. If you are going to restart, it won't change. Okay. So this is like Windows failure cluster feature services enabled here. Who's that? What we need to do? We have that failure cluster manager. Yeah, for cluster manager, just do this like hmm, configure this failure cluster instance here. I'm just doing for just demo purpose to enable this 2016, but 2070, sorry, 2019 22, it's not required. It will directly uh, uh, okay, so let's see this browse option where you can able to find this SQL instance name. No question. If we don't know, just go to the command. That's it. Add, then next. Nothing to do here. Just enable the service. Okay. Automatically accept that network configuration. It will successful. Okay. Just go to this SQL configuration manager. Okay. It's not done right. Let's create one more time. I don't know what happened this. Just go to the configuration manager and try to finish this one. Okay, so we have the cluster one. And again, go to this SQL Server instance. And here is our option is enable now, apply, okay, okay, and restart. Okay, so this is simple uh, thing, part of prerequisites. Okay, so I just need to enable this uh, uh, two rest of prerequisites over here, and I'll just straight away go to my link and take these three options to execute there. It will give some prompts over here, and then uh, okay, required to enable port here. Uh, I just need to add the flags over here. IFN 1H and IFN 9567. Okay, so this is the ports which we required. First of all, let's see this again, the validation. I want to see that actually. Uh, We just need to, do some, validation and then do one by one. See, now what it is saying that it is a master key enabling, right? So the master key enable will just take a straight this uh, copy script and provide a password over here, whatever you want to provide. Okay, execute and just copy and try to find out whether this master key is got enabled or not. Okay, so it will give some master key related information which is enabled or not. Right, it is enabled over here. And then other prerequisite it is referring is basically, if you can see this, adding of startup, go to the startup parameters, iPhone T1 Android, add here, okay. And the other port is like iPhone T, okay, so 9567, okay. So just copy and paste and do add, apply, okay, okay, and restart it. Let's see, I'm just, making, step by step troubleshooting here, just to do the migration, right? How it is going to work for folks. All right, just refresh now, try to do some validation part. Okay, so just right click, go to this studio, minus link, replicate. Yes, now it is eligible for the migration. So full backup is required. Okay. So I'm stopping over here. We'll continue tomorrow and then we'll just have continue to tomorrow. Thank you everyone. Okay, so see you tomorrow. The continuation of the migration process. Bye.